Welcome to Immature Designer. In this video, we will be going through a project and discuss how user experience design and user interface design can be done. So, this project was mostly about user research and experience rather than user interface design. Interface was not much focused, but still, it has been done very decently. So let's go through this one project. Of course, this project has been done by me. So let's get started. This video would also give you an idea how you can create a self project and a detailed self project which will actually help you land internships and jobs. The problem statement was basically that in different colleges, you don't when you land into a college, you don't have any teacher, you don't have a person who gives you notes, right? They answer all your questions, make you write everything in your notebooks. That doesn't happen in college. In college, there are professors who just come into the class, step in there, teach you. You are the one who are making notes. If you miss any class, or you miss out on resources, on what were the notes, what were the previous year question papers. If you are especially a person who don't have much contact with your seniors, we don't have much contacts basically in college, you won't be able to get resources for previous year question papers and other study materials. And while you are prepping for your exams, that would really pull you back. So this particular application design was a solution for that problem, wherein there will be all the resources, study materials, previous year question papers, doubt clearance, etc., for every study material, everything that goes inside a college, for all the different departments, for all the different semesters. So this was the whole idea of this project. So when you start a project, you first have to understand the problem statement, and you have to empathize with your user group, your target user group, who would be using your product that you are designing, whatever. So either it's a website or application, doesn't matter. You have to empathize with your users, you have to understand the user group who will be using it. So you have to research for that, right? You have to research regarding all around the problem statement as well, how a college works. There are different semester, there are various different departments, there are study materials, question papers, doubt clearance, there are notes that gets passed, and sometimes you have doubts regarding the notes as well, that what the person has written. So you also have to ask those things. So there are various list of things that happens, so you have to know that, right? So you will know that once you do the research. User interview. So user interview, why is it important? First thing, it's important because when you are thinking everything, it's one person's perspective. It's better to get 2-3 persons views so that you can design better. This is also a part of the research. After doing that, you have to jump into competitive analysis, because you also want to know that the thing that you want to design, you want to solve for, if the solution for that exists, then how does it work, and what does it look like, how many people are using it, what's a better approach for it, what can be improved in that what exists, and what can be added and removed from what exists, what can be more focused, and what you want to add in your application. Like, what's your target, what you are targeting in this thing. Like academia, Google Drive, the target of these two things are completely different, definitely. But my idea, what my idea was very much related to Google Drive, because in Google Drive you keep all those things, but there are various things that lacks in a Google Drive. And then academia, where research papers and all the things are published, etc., you can access notebooks, books, publish papers, etc. But at the same time, it's not it's public, and it's a lot different than what a college what can be focused to a college, right? So I tried to get some ideas, some pros and cons, like compare the pros and cons and get some ideas from these two major platforms. And finally, when I was clear about what I want to have in my application, what problems I will be solving, I started to make a user flow. So basically, user flow is something which starts from like what will happen when a person jumps into your application, what problems you are solving. Like right when he jumps into your application, what are the steps that he would go through, what are the different approaches he can take, what are the different options he is getting. And it should not be like confusing for the person as well. You can give one page beneath other page. You want to keep things organized. You want that a person should know that if he clicks on library, where he is going, if he clicks on queries, where he is going, right? It should be understandable as well. So you have to structure your idea into a flow of the application. So that's how firstly I saw the user flow of academia, and getting few things from there, I made notes that what can be changed and what can definitely be of course be added and changed from my problem solving perspective. After I have done the user flow research and everything, I moved on to customer journey mapping. So these are the processes which are not necessary for all the problem statements. Some parts can be removed, some parts can be added. It's not necessary that you do a competitive analysis. If that thing doesn't exist, then you cannot do a competitive analysis. Or if you think that you want to make something like Instagram, you are not going to do a competitive analysis with Instagram. You have to understand where you want to focus, what your target would be, because keeping everything same as Instagram would be very difficult for you to grow as a designer, as a application designer. So therefore, not every step is important, and not every step is has been included in my process. So I have also made a video on user experience process, in which I have mentioned what all things should be done in a user experience process, and everything. Basically, I've included everything. And I've also told there that it's not necessary to include everything in your approach and not exclude everything. Like, include what is required. You have to be selective, definitely. So, customer journey mapping. So when you are doing customer journey mapping, it's like you are making a ideal person, an ideal persona, and you are giving a name to that person, you are giving a scenario to that person, you are defining some goals and motivations of that person. So basically an ideal persona, okay? And then you are designing the journey of that particular person, according to the situation, goals and motivation that you have assigned to that person. You will be mapping a journey of that particular person in your app. What are the mindset and emotions he went through while he was following this particular journey, and what are the opportunities and insights that I got from his journey and actions. You finally define what your problem statement was, and the how might we help that person to solve his problem. And while you are solving his problem, you are basically solving the problem of all the people like him, right? And that becomes your target audience. So brainstorming, I did a brainstorming, how might we help Ankur get access to the right study material from exam. So there are various things that came into my mind. Brainstorming is a process basically where you write everything down, every silliest things down on the notebook. You might not take everything while designing, but you might get a lot of ideas, and you might change a few things, you might combine a few things, and that's how brainstorming is done. Basically, you just give 10 minutes and write down everything that comes to your mind. Project and business goals. Now, it's not just about making the application for Ankur, it's also about your business goals. You want it to be you want people to download it, you want the app to grow somehow, and user goals as well, because not now you don't have to become business centric as well, you don't have to become user centric, you have to combine both things, and you have to find that sweet spot. Project roadmap. I also, since I was actually making the design of the application and everything, so I made a personal project roadmap. This is something which is not necessary but is recommended to you, because while you're doing self projects, you think that why am I doing it, what will I get out of it, I'm not earning anything out of it. But So that's why you start leaving, not doing your self projects very nicely. Next is information architecture. So basically all the pages: create profile, home page, then discussion forum, resources, notifications, my files, and profile. That's what I came with after doing all the research and everything. This was what I came up with. And I did the information architecture. After doing the information architecture, I made the wireframe, I did the prototyping, I did the UI design as well. So in this, just to make my work easier, I used Google UI set, which is already available in Figma. When you use Figma, you can have Google UI sample set, in which you will have these buttons, these pre-made things, these icons, everything pre-made, everything goes with it. This is my final hi-fi design. And I have while you are, so one important thing is, if you're doing a self project, it's also important how you represent your how you present your self project. So this was how I presented my self project. I did it, I presented it in a way as well, so that the process is revealed, how I did it, right? And explained every part of it, explained so that anyone can see it and understand it. I don't have to be there to explain everything. I hope this helped. I hope like people who have reached till the end of this video, I am glad that you are here, and I'm glad that I kind of played a role in helping you throughout this. Thank you so much.